about Kanata is, aside from their efficient admin and communication skills, they are very supportive on a professional level, but at the same time, you can feel that personal touch. They care about you, not because that's what they do, but because it's who they are. And I think that's a rare quality that you can find in consultancy, and you can really see it in the way they work with you. Sure, I already did. I mean, why would I be doing something so good, right? If you're looking for a strong support system and very excellent in admin skills, then Kanata is the right education consultancy for you. To the physical setup of classes, will really experience being immersed in Canada's culture. I believe that will stretch my mind and will add knowledge.
So, kumusta naman yung experience nyo with Kanata Education, syempre? Tinulungan
Alam mo, in all honesty, sobrang laking tulong sa amin ng Kanata kasi step by step, yung pagtulong nila, ramdam mo talaga yung genuine concern and support nila. Hindi na sila yung agency na basta makakuha ng pera or makapagpasa lang or ma-check lang ng document. Sila mag-check ng document. Makulit sila, matay sila. They see to it that everything is in order before they launch visa application. So, alam mo, hindi lang yung feeling ng, hindi lang yung feeling may trust ka. Pero feeling mo rin, panatag ka sa application mo. Kasi alam mo na-check na maayos at talagang pinag-aanan ng oras yung document.
Kanata is, aside from their efficient admin and communication skills, they are very supportive on a professional level, but at the same time, you can feel that personal touch. They care about you, not because that's what they do, but because it's who they are. And I think that's a rare quality that you can find in a consultancy, and you can really see it in the way they work with you. Sure, I already did. I mean, why would I be doing something so good, right? If you're looking for a strong support system and very excellent in admin skills, then Kanata is the right education consultancy for you. To the physical setup of classes, will really experience being immersed in Canada's future. I believe that will stretch my mind and will add knowledge.
So, kumusta naman yung experience nyo with Kanata Education, syempre? Tinulungan
Alam mo, in all honesty, sobrang laking tulong sa amin ng Kanata kasi step by step, yung pagtulong nila, ramdam mo talaga yung concern and support nila. Hindi lang sila yung agency na basta makakuha ng pera or makapagpasa lang or ma-check lang ng document. Siguro sila ma-check ng document. Makulit sila, matay sila. They see to it that everything is in order before they launch the application. So, alam mo, hindi lang yung feeling ng, hindi lang yung feeling may trust ka, pero feeling mo rin panatag sa application mo kasi alam mo na-check na maayos at talagang pinaglaanan ng oras yung document.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Kanata Educational Consultancy Services free webinar about study in Canada with Sault College. Last night, we had the representative from Kwantlen Polytechnic University of British Columbia. And for today, for this afternoon, we will have the representative from one of the best college in Ontario. She will enlighten us with the programs and services offered from their college. And also, we will discuss the assistance of Kanata Education for the school application as well as for the visa application. Let us get started and welcome Ms. Fairlane Ainso. She is the regional manager of the Southeast Asia that handles Philippine market from Sault College. Hi, Fair.
Hi, Francis. Good afternoon.
Yes, and we have, I think, Fair, we have a lot of attendees ng mga nurses. So I believe and they're excited to know what are the programs for internationally educated nurses.
Okay, that's noted. Thank you, Francis. All right. So before I start, I just like to thank you for spending your weekend with us. But before I talk about the college, our programs, let me show you first the community. Baka magulat kayo on the community. So I just want to show you a little bit about Sault Ste. Marie or where you're going to. So once again, I'm Fairlane. You can call me Fair. I'm the regional manager of Sault College for Southeast Asia. So we call it Sault, but I will forgive you if you will call it Salt. It's fine. This is a French word relating to the jumping rapids of Sault Ste. Marie. Right, so you can call it Sault Ste. Marie or Sault Ste. Marie. It's up to you. SSM or Sault Ste. Marie is a designated safe community by Parachute Canada. It's the third largest city in Northern Ontario with around 72,000 population. It's also ranked in the top 10 friendliest Canadian cities by Expedia last 2018. And second in Ontario when it comes to the shortest distance from home to work. So if you're going with your family in Sault Ste. Marie, definitely you will have more time with them. Traffic does not exist in Sault Ste. Marie as well. All right, so specifically here we are at Northern Ontario. So you will find two Sault Ste. Maries there. One is in Ontario, the other one is in Michigan in the US. So if you will cross the border to Michigan, it will only take you 5 to 10 minutes by land, okay? Or by the bridge, by the international bridge. But if you're coming from Detroit, the capital of Michigan, it will take you 5 hours by land. If you're coming from Toronto or Ottawa, the capital, it will take you 7 to 8 hours by land. So all of our students, they're coming from Toronto because that's the entry point to Ontario. And from there, they will take an hour flight going to Sault Ste. Marie, right? So one thing that you need to consider and look for is when the opportunities or the industries existing in a community. So in Sault Ste. Marie, these are the main industries existing there. If you don't find your industry, it doesn't mean that it's not there. It's just that these are the main ones. It's also good that you understand and know this for your spouse if you're going with them so that you will know what are the industries that will hire faster or will have more employment, right? Now let's go to our college. So Sault College is one of the 24 public colleges in Ontario with over 50 years of education excellence in different disciplines. Okay, so we have different campuses. Main campus is in Sault Ste. Marie, and then we have Brampton and another one in Toronto. Okay, so just so you know, Brampton and Toronto campuses will have limited programs that's being offered, but almost all of our programs are offered in the main campus in Sault Ste. Marie, right? So why Sault College? For Filipino students, we're waiving IELTS or any English language test, as well as application fee. We also have entry and language test scholarships available to you. And of course, I'm proud to say that we're still number one when it comes to student satisfaction rating. So we have over 70 programs that you can choose from. And from that 70, we have around 18 that will either have co-op, placement, or internship. Okay, so not all of the programs will have this, but definitely there is a hands-on learning or training that's embedded to your program. Right. So we do have strong employment support and more seats to international students. Please understand that we want to highlight the more seats. Siguro nagtataka kayo why? Because there's really limited seats to international students, especially for health-related programs. So if you are really interested and you want to know more, you can ask questions after this. You can also connect with Kanata to talk further about your career goals and pathway after education in Canada, all right? So another thing that you might want to consider going to Sault Ste. Marie is the RNIP, or the Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot. So I won't go through everything about RNIP, just an overview so that you will have a brief knowledge about it and understanding. RNIP is immigration pathway by the federal government. So meaning you need to meet first the federal requirements before applying for RNIP. Okay, so this is offered to only 11 small communities across Canada. In Ontario, there are only 5 communities where you can find RNIP. So mostly they are in the northern part. So one of them is Sault Ste. Marie. Sault Ste. Marie is the first community to offer RNIP. So the idea here is you will study for 2 years in the community. After that, you need to find a job in the community. Once you have the job offer, you can do an application assessment with EDC, and then the EDC, or Economic Development Council of Sault Ste. Marie, will be the one to assess you. If you pass, they will refer you to our IRCC for the PR. So far, we're the first community to receive successful applicants, PR applicants, for RNIP. If you have further questions or you want to know more, please check welcome to ssm.com/RNIP. Right, so I just want to show you that these are the priority occupations that we have. You will find here that with these occupations, okay, we actually consider our programs. So most of our programs will land with these NOCs or the National Occupation Code. Okay, so most of you are health professionals. There are different NOCs here, like you can see nursing, health, even leadership in nursing or leadership in the health services, support in health services, etc. Okay, so once again, please visit welcome to ssm.com/RNIP. Okay, so I've mentioned about support a while ago. Another great thing about the college is the support to students. So we have our employment support while you study and even after you graduate. So whether it's part-time or full-time, by going through our student job center, you can go through all of these experiences, activities for free. So just so you know, you are the one who will be applying for a job, but we will provide you the tools that you will need to apply. And then after that, after you graduate, you can still depend to Sault College by going to our Employment Solutions Department. This is funded by the government to make sure that you will be connected to the community or employers across Ontario or even across Canada. So maybe you're all aware that you can work 20 hours a week, right, as an international student. So that's 20 hours a week during the semester, full-time during the break. But if you want to add additional hours to your part-time, you can do so by applying in our campus. So we have in-campus jobs. You need to check Student Job Center. So you can add additional 10 hours, okay, on top of the 20 hours for your part-time. Right, so other support services that we have, academic and extracurricular. So I just want to highlight here the academic counseling and free tutoring service. So this one, to make sure that you will be able to, be able to get a part, okay, when it comes to, if you're having a hard time with your academics, you can definitely check our academic counseling department. And if you feel like you can tutor your peers or maybe lower years, then you can definitely apply as a tutor by checking the free tutoring service. So that can be a part of your additional part-time in campus, right? So let's go to our program. So we have 3 intakes in a year: September, January, and May. Right now, September is already closed. We're open for January and May 2022 intakes. We will open for September 2022, this October or November 2021. Okay, so if you're interested, please make sure that you connect with Kanata. They'll be able to know when our portal opens for application. Right, so I won't go through all of the programs, but just to highlight, we have different programs in different disciplines. Again, we have engineering technology, media design, business, environment, and of course, culinary. So you will find here the co-op, 400 hours co-op. Normally, this is across all of the co-op programs, 400 hours. So the difference between a co-op and a placement, or a co-op and an internship, the co-op is paid. Okay, so in our college, the co-op is paid. Placement, internship is not paid. Okay, but both, you need to finish them to be able to graduate. Okay, so you will also find here the 2+2. This is good for students who want to pursue bachelor's degree after their diploma program with Sault College. Okay, so you can do another 2 years in our partner university, Algoma, and then finish that 2 years. You will get 2 credentials, diploma, and then bachelor's degree. Not bad, eh? So these are the other programs. So we have community services and then health sciences, general arts and science. Now, for the health sciences, most of these programs are only offered during fall or September intake. So right now, the only program offered for January, okay, is early childhood education and personal support worker, or PSW. For May, early childhood education and personal developmental support services. So the rest are offered during fall or September intake. So you will also find here the number of hours for placement for the different programs. Normally, the placement will start second semester of the first year. Okay. Right now, let's go to the graduate certificate programs. So it depends on what you finish. We can move to, then you can apply for the graduate certificate program. So the only programs that are open to bachelor's degree holder, any discipline, is global business management, supply chain management, and project management. We can consider project management, hospitality, tourism management, and public relations. Okay, so if you are in the field of engineering, then you can apply to automated manufacturing, robotics automation, construction project management. So we only require engineering graduates here. And of course, for health, should be health-related programs that you finish during your university or college years. Same goes with cybersecurity, okay? And our network architecture and security analytics. You should be IT graduate, including mobile application design, right? So for the 1+1, I know you're all aware about the PGWP. So for the 1+1, you can do this. Okay, so the idea here is you will apply first for your first program, let's say project management. And then before you graduate from project management, apply for another 1-year graduate certificate, let's say supply chain management. So it's a continuous study for 2 years, and that will qualify you for the 3-year PGWP. So the idea of the PGWP is only applied once, okay? So hindi pwede na you will study and then you will apply for PGWP and then you will study. So hindi ganon. So only once. That's why you can do the 1+1. Right, so Kanata requested a highlight on our programs, definitely, because we have a lot of RNs, I assume. So we have these 2 new programs. These are bridging programs for internationally educated nurses. We have the professional nursing practice, gerontology and chronic illness, and enhanced practice for international educated nurses, acute care. So the requirement here is you need to be a BSN graduate, and then you need to have your PRC license, not expired. Okay, so please make sure that you renew your PRC license if you want to become an RN in Canada, because they need an existing PRC license. Okay, so you need to have 1 year clinical experience for the last 2 years. So if your last clinical experience was 2017 or 2018, unfortunately, you cannot apply for this program. Okay, so the curriculum will include placement, and the number of hours of placement for our programs, this is the highest in Ontario. As well, you will be prepared for the OSC exam and the NCLEX exam. So this is under the PNP GCI, or the professional nursing practice. The goal here is for you to become an RN in Canada. So what you will need to do is apply for NNAS and then CNO, and then you gain employment, and of course register or take the licensure exam to become an RN. So IELTS is waived, but if you have 6.5 or higher, we will prioritize your application. Okay, so please take note, you might be required English language test once you take or once you get assessed by NNAS. So sometimes they don't really require from Filipino applicants, but it depends on their assessment. Okay, so we have, just to provide you an example here. So first, you're going to enter January 2022. let's say gerontology, because you did not meet your last clinical experience was 2018. So you will enter January 2022. Gerontology has a placement. Okay? You can use that as an assessment with our admission. Okay? And of course, your previous experiences to apply for your second entry, second graduate certificate program, which is enhanced practice acute care. So why enhanced practice? Because of the specialization. The professional nursing practice, the specialization is gerontology and chronic illness. So you don't want to repeat that. Or unless you want to repeat that, that's fine. You can definitely apply for PNP or professional nursing practice. Okay, so it's January to August. Maybe you're asking why, because one academic year is 8 months. And then, but after 2023, that's the time that you can do your assessment with the National Nursing Assessment Services or NNAS, and then CNO, and then do your apply for a job, for experience, and apply for your PGWP. So with this, you actually did 1+1. That will qualify you for a 3-year PGWP program. As well, you can do your assessment with NNAS and CNO, and then wait for the result, and they will let you know when can you apply or when can you take the licensure test. Okay, so you can check with Kanata for other health-related programs. This is gerontology is just an example because gerontology has a field placement. Okay, so it's considered as a clinical experience. Right. So for our admissions, if you're applying for certificate, diploma programs, you need to be at least high school graduate, K to 12. If you're coming from the old curriculum system, then we will need at least 2 years of college or university. So we will need your high school documents, your college, university documents. We don't need the medium of instruction certificate. That's not required. So for graduate certificate program, we will only need your bachelor's degree or your college university documents. We will need your resume. And if you had units with masters or you finish your masters, we will also need that. Okay. So the passport, if your passport is expired, that's fine. We can still apply you, but please make sure that you will submit to Kanata your new passport before the start of the semester. Okay, and then marriage certificate, if applicable, because if you did not change your name, we don't really need the marriage certificate. So for the application fee, again, it's waived. Tuition fee will be around 16,500 to 19,900 Canadian dollars a year or 2 semesters, and this will depend on your program. So this will include ancillary fees. Ancillary will cover your health insurance for 1 year. And we have an entry scholarship for Filipino students. Okay, so 2,000 Canadian dollars is automatic once you apply. And then if you have IELTS or PTE, again, language test is waived. But if you have IELTS, academic or general, 6.5, no band lower than 6, or PTE, academic 65 or higher, you will have additional 1,000 Canadian dollars. So that's a total of 3,000 Canadian dollars that will be deducted for 1 year or 2 semesters. Okay? And you will be able to see that in your letter of acceptance. You can also check other academic scholarships once you are in our campus, okay? And you can apply to that during the second semester. So for the accommodation, we have the student residence. It's a bit pricey as compared to staying off campus, but everything is included here. If you don't want the student residence, we can definitely do off-campus housing. Okay? We can assist you to look for off-campus housing across the community. And also we have a partner homestay provider. This is staying with a Canadian family. This is ideal for single students or for couple without kids. You can still check the homestay. The studentship is for students who are below 18 years old. Okay, so I hope you have the time to go over our website and then check our virtual tour to see the facilities in the main campus. So once again, thank you for your time. Please check the website for international students and follow us in social media. So thank you, Francis. Thank you, Kanata. I will be here for the Q&A.
Okay, thanks, Fair. Again, Miss Fair will be available for the Q&A later after the presentation of Kanata. For our final speaker, she is the face of the Kanata Education. She has a YouTube account that give information or helpful information for aspiring students who wants to study in Canada. Let us all welcome Miss Catherine Manasan.
Hello. Hi. Hi. Thank you, Sir Francis. Hi, Miss Christina. And thank you also, Miss Fair, for joining us today. Okay, so hi, everyone. I will be sharing my presentation with you. I think you are excited for the question and answer portion, so I will be very quick with my presentation. So once again, welcome to Study in Canada webinar with Kanata Education. I would like to show you what are the benefits of an international student in Canada. So there are also policies and regulations under the student permit. Or as an international student in Canada, of course, you have to be always enrolled at a designated learning institution. You should make progress towards completing your program. You should always respect the conditions of your student permit. And you should stop studying if you do not meet requirements and leave Canada when your permit expires. Okay, so as mentioned earlier by Ms. Fair, you can work while you are studying. So you have three options to earn while studying. You can get an on-campus jobs, off-campus jobs, and co-op, which is usually incorporated with the program. So on-campus jobs, you're allowed to work 12 hours per week. You don't need to work. You don't need to have a work permit, but you should be a full-time student with a valid student permit. So on-campus jobs are highly dependent on the availability of jobs on campus. However, they are kind of like limited. So you just have to check all those vacancies inside the campus. While off-campus jobs are available, of course, outside the campus. These are the restaurants, coffee shops you can apply to, but it's not limited to that. You can always, apply to offices and other companies, and you don't need a work permit, but you should have started studying or enrolled in a program. So if you go to Canada 1 month or 2 months before your program starts, you cannot work while waiting for your classes to start. So you should have already started your studies before you can get an off-campus jobs. The other one will be through your co-op, which is usually paid, and this is incorporated with your program. So once again, you can work 20 hours per week during school semester and 40 hours during semestral breaks and holiday breaks. Another exciting benefit of an international student is that you can stay in Canada after your program, or this is what they call the postgraduate work permit. So if your program is less than 8 months, you're not eligible for PGWP since you don't need a student permit to finish a 6 months class or program. If your program is 1 year, you can get a 1-year postgraduate work permit, and the 2-year programs will give you a 3 years postgraduate work permit. So this is why colleges are offering the 1+1 program. So you will be eligible for the 3 years postgraduate work permit. Okay, as an international student, you'll be able to bring your dependents with you. Now, if you are 18 years old and above and you are single, your parents, your grandparents, your uncles and aunts are not included or considered as your dependents. So these are your only dependents, either your spouse or common law partner, and of course, your own children. So you can bring your dependents, however, we don't highly we do not highly encourage bringing dependents because it as a single applicant or as a student applicant, It gives you a higher chance of approval if you apply as a single student applicant without the dependents. We can always apply your dependents right after you get your student permit and visa approval. All right, if you apply through Kanata Education, we don't collect processing fees. We will provide you free assessment, of course, unlimited consultation, and assistance all throughout your student application journey, from school application until your visa application. And we don't collect processing fees. We only collect the security deposit of 10,000 pesos, which you will use later on for your visa application and biometrics fees. So yes, you heard that right, and I will always highlight this, that we don't collect processing fees. Okay, so what are the documents required to start your application? Of course, you need your valid passport. If you have an expired passport, as what Ms. Ferret said, you can still apply, but we will be needing your valid passport before lodging your visa application. We will also need your academic transcripts, your diploma, updated CV, any form of ID, and your IELTS results if you do have. However, Sault College is waiving IELTS requirements for Filipinos so that you are exempted from submitting the IELTS results. So what is the process to become an international student? So first of all, you have to consult with your counselors. So here, during this stage, we will be giving you the right program recommendation depending on your education background and of course your work background. Once we have agreed on which program you will take, you will gather all the documents and we will submit it to the school on your behalf. Once we have submitted your application, we will wait for the letter of acceptance. And then once you receive it, you will have to pay a deposit, a confirmation deposit, or pay 1 semester tuition fee if you're applying through the regular stream. Once you have confirmed your slot, you will start your visa application process by getting a medical exam and completing all the required visa requirements. Kanata Education will give you a comprehensive list of documents as well as the guideline for the study plan or the letter of purpose writing. Once we have all the documents, we will proceed for the checking and then submit all your documents for visa application process. Submit the visa application to the IRCC. So there are two types of visa application stream. One is the regular stream, which is the most preferred option of visa application by our students. So pre-pandemic or before this COVID, the waiting time or application assessment runs between 6 to 8 weeks. At the moment, according to the IRCC website, they are processing the application for regular stream between 8 weeks to 13 weeks. So we highly recommend that the lodging of the visa should be at least 3 months before the intake. So at this time, we stopped applying for September 2021 because almost all of the colleges are already closed for September 2021. So our next intake will be for January 2022. So the deadline for visa application lodging for January 2022 will be on September. So if you have already completed all your documents, you are prepared, you are ready to submit, then we can still proceed with your application. So one of the requirements under the regular stream is your proof of acceptance or the letter of acceptance from the school, a proof of identity, and your proof of financial support. So proof of financial support in a form of a third party or your sponsor. So a sponsor is not required to be in Canada, can be anywhere around the world as long as they are your relative, a first degree relative, and they're able to provide bank statements with the corresponding show money requirement. So show money is equivalent to 1 year tuition fee and 1 year living cost. So in Sault College, the average tuition fee is around 15,000 Canadian dollars plus 10,000 Canadian dollars living cost for 1 year. So the required show money for the student is 25,000 Canadian dollars. So this amount should be in your sponsor's bank account. So your sponsor must provide all necessary supporting documents to prove that he or she is eligible to support your studies and living cost or allowance in Canada. If you're bringing your dependent, the additional required show money will be 4,000 Canadian dollars for your spouse and 3,000 Canadian dollars for each of your kid. If you have 2 kids, then that would be 6,000 Canadian dollars. All right, and then of course you need to write a letter of explanation. So this is why a counseling or assessment from your counselor is highly encouraged, so that we'll be able to assist you and help you with the writing of your letter of explanation. Now, Kanata Education will give you a guideline how to write this letter, and we will help you polish it and edit it before we submit to IRCC for visa application. So once again, regular stream application assessment runs between 6 to 8 weeks. You need a letter of acceptance, proof of identity, proof of financial support, and your letter of explanation. Now, there is another type of visa application, which is the study direct stream, or a very straightforward, hassle-free type of application. So why is that? It's because you don't need to provide all these financial documents from your sponsor. You only need to provide your IELTS with a minimum score of 6 overall. And you need to purchase a guaranteed investment certificate worth 10,000 Canadian dollars, a payment of 1-year tuition fee, and of course, the letter of explanation. So basically, here at the Study Direct stream, you are already advancing all your costs or expenses in Canada. So it's already prepaid. You've already purchased a guaranteed investment certificate worth 10,000, which will serve as your allowance on a monthly basis during your program duration or for 1 year. And you have already advanced the payment of 1-year tuition fee. So that means you've already secured your expenses for 1 year in Canada. So if the school, or since Sault College is waiving the IELTS requirements, if you are applying through the Study Direct stream, then you are required to provide an IELTS result. Okay. So why you should not let COVID stop you from reaching your dreams? So some students are still asking if they will proceed with their application. So right now, actually, vaccines are starting to roll out. So there are, the announcement has been made that if you are fully vaccinated, you can be exempted from the quarantine requirements in Canada. And of course, some programs are still offered online, and you can study at the comfort of your home. However, PGWP eligibility for online learning will expire this December 2021. All right, so that's it for my presentation. We can start with a Q&A. Please follow us on all our social media pages for updates and announcements. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can get more tips and insights on how to become an international student. And if you have friends who wants to and miss this webinar, you can watch it also over there. Thank you so much for listening, and now we can proceed with the question and answer portion.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kat, for that very detailed explanation. So we actually have a question for Ms. Fair coming from Ms. Ao Mali. Ms. Fair, can you explain further what is the term placement? Because you mentioned that a few times when you explained the programs that you offer.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Al. So the placement is basically just like an on-the-job training. Okay, so co-op, placement, internship, they're almost the same goal. That is to get you to experience employment with the employer during your study. Okay, so just the only differences will be the number of hours and of course if it's paid or not. So placement for Sault College and internship is not paid, but co-op is paid.
I see.
I hope I answered that question. Thank you.
Miss Au, yes, was Miss Fair able to answer your question?
Yes, that's separate from PGWP. PGWP is right after graduation. Okay, so you cannot apply for PGWP during your study. You need to apply for PGWP after you graduate. Thank you.
Roxanne Reyes was asking if meron siyang license for she's a licensed registered nurse but no clinical experience. Can she still take the bridging program for September next year?
No, unless you apply for a clinical experience now. That will cover 1 year for next year because our next intake for the bridging program is September 2022. So you still have the time. But if you really want to enter Canada January or May, you might want to consider the other health-related programs. So if you did not have any clinical experience for the past 5 years or even for the past 8 years, I think you need to check for a really good program that will cover the clinical experience. Probably healthcare leadership will cover that because it has an internship during the 4th semester. If you really want to become an RN in Canada, clinical experience is needed for your assessment. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Miss Fair. And another question from Miss Shiri. She mentioned that she's a registered nurse, currently working and planning to take personal support worker program. Is it advisable to take PSW or should she enroll in the gerontology program first?
Thank you, Christina and Sherry. So, one thing you need to understand why you study in Canada is to level up. Okay, so you are an RN, you finish bachelor's degree. Okay, then the visa officer or even the school will expect you to do graduate certificate or master's, etc., higher than the bachelor's, right? PSW is a certificate program, college certificate program, okay, lower than advanced diploma or diploma. So please consider your pathway, but I would suggest that you can check gerontology if you want to enter January or May 2022. But if you're aiming for September 2022, consider the bridging programs because those are graduate certificate programs. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Ms. Fair, you mentioned a while ago that there is a discount for applicants with IELTS score. What does the Sault College accept? Is it academic or general IELTS?
Any academic or general. So as long as the score is 6.5, no band lower than 6.
Okay. They will get the 1,000 Canadian dollars discount.
That's true.
And Miss Fair, there's another question from Ben Ann. So it seems that she is already or already has an NCLEX. How's the process for students who already have their NCLEX?
Okay, so if you already have your NCLEX, then you might want to check with NNAS. That's the National Nursing Assessment Services. You don't need to take the NCLEX again. So for you is to take academic programs or the graduate certificate programs for you to be able to get the PGWP. So that I think that will be your goal, okay, to get the 3-year PGWP. So that is if you want to study for 2 years, but you can also study for 1 year. So I will be sending the link for NNAS in our chat so that you can check and you can send them an email. They are very responsive, don't worry. So most of the association in Canada, they are very responsive. They will get back to you for any questions. But you don't need to take NCLEX again, okay, if you already have it.
Okay. One question here, Fair, is what programs the Sault College offers for IT-related professionals? IT professionals.
Thank you, Francis. So if you're an IT graduate, we have the network security, and then cybersecurity, mobile application, and project management. So those are all graduate certificate programs. The cybersecurity is a 2-year graduate certificate program. It has an internship during the 4th semester, but it's only offered in our Toronto campus.
All right. Thanks, Ms. Fair.
Thank you.
And Miss Fair, a follow-up question from Miss Roxanne. So, what should be the +1 program if she will take the gerontology in order for her to become a Canadian nurse?
So if you already have, okay, so if you're going to take the gerontology, you can consider any of the bridging programs. So either the professional nursing or the enhanced practice for internationally educated nurses. So I will also send the link to our programs or international splash page in the chat box. Thank you.
Okay. Most of the questions are about the program recommendation, what course should I take in Canada, and we will discuss this over the assessment and consultation next week. So if you have any question for Kanata with our service, you can also type in your question. But for program recommendation, we will discuss this over the assessment and consultation.
Yes, Ms. Fair, I have a question here. Since it was mentioned that NCLEX preparation is also provided for the bridging program, what if the student fails the NCLEX exam? What will happen to the student? What would be the next step?
I think you can retake it. So you are given, I think, time. I'm not sure if it's 3 months, but you can definitely retake NCLEX.
Okay. And will the 3 years postgraduate work permit sufficient enough for them to acquire the license, or should they get a job and have a sponsor for another work permit before they can be considered as an RN?
No, because the assessment for NS and then the test will be yearly. Okay, so you're only like given a year. The 3-year PGWP will suffice, I think, even if you fail the NCLEX. Yeah, but please keep in mind that, of course, you still need to keep your job. And it's good if you're able to get a job in a healthcare facility. If it's the hospital, then it's better. But normally, if you don't have license, you cannot really enter the hospital setting. But healthcare facilities, it's a definitely a yes for jobs.
Yeah, okay. Also, this student is hemodialysis nurse in the Philippines. She's able to become a nurse in Canada, will she be able to work as well as a hemodialysis or as a nurse in general?
I think it's a nurse first in general, because it's a specialization. So it really depends on the program that you're going to take. Unfortunately, that will fall under acute care, but because chemo is very specialized, so probably palliative, acute, but we don't have palliative for international students. So yeah, so probably the acute care.
Right. Okay. Do you have any more questions on your side, Sir Francis and Miss Christina?
Not the moment, Miss Kat. I think we're good.
Okay. I think for program recommendations, we will be giving you a call and assessment for next week. And yeah, if you don't have any more questions for Miss Fair or to Sault College, if you want to know more about their programs, you can click the link on the chat box. And we can have a session next week for the question and assessment. All right, so I think that's it for today's webinar. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. Thank you, Ms. with us today. And I hope you'll have a great weekend.
Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Francis. Thank you,
Miss
Christine.
Fair.
And to our participants. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye.